Day 43 of Semen Attention Journey, and I had this introspection that I wanted to talk about. I feel lost in life, and I haven't felt like this so intensely before. And I came across this advice that I wanted to share with you guys, with folks like me who are in this phase, who are feeling lost in their life. Feeling lost isn't a problem or a problem of intelligence. The real problem is when there's an inward split or inward diversion. One part of you wants truth and love, and the other part of you wants acceptance and security. And the real problem begins when these two parts fight against each other. That's when the real confusion begins. We're so used to validating our lives by comparing our lives to others. People progressing on their careers, buying houses, starting a family, traveling, posting on social media, and having this spotless social media profile. And therefore we conclude that we are falling behind in life and we are not successful. And we start panicking and start asking ourselves with questions like, what's wrong with me, and why don't I know what I want to do with my life, and am I headed towards the right direction? This confusion is a sign that you have let too many voices in and stop listening to your own. You stopped living from the inside out and started living for what's right and wins approval. You're not lost. You're just not listening to the only voice that matters the most, and that is our heart. When you start realizing this, you kind of start to quiet down and you start releasing the idea of who you should be. You begin to hear who you actually are, and what you hear isn't a demand to be successful or perfect. And that's conditioning. That's years of conditioning. You cannot receive this invitation, to come home to the only place that you don't have to perform yourself. And most people stay stuck in jobs and relationship they hate because the pain of misalignment is bearable and far more easier than the pain of facing themselves. And there's always an escape. There's a lot of, we live in this illusion, right? We have, let's say we call it Maya. People escape from this, like from drugs, from alcohol, from good food, new plans, new friends, new clothes, and new distractions. If you remove that and strip away the noise and you stay with yourself, when there's nothing left to reach out for, and there's nothing left to numb the pain of pretense and validation. You begin to see where you keep saying yes while your body says no, where you perform instead of express, and where you stay small to be accepted, where you've been living someone else's life. Think of your life like a tree. A tree keeps branching out. It creates new branches. At any moment, you're standing at a node. You have two choices. You either choose faith and truth and love, or you choose fear and self-abandonment. If you choose fear, you stay in misaligned timeline. You do what's familiar, but you pay for it quietly with constant self-management, numbing, coping, justification, and performing. You live in survival mode, and life starts to feel like upstream, like pushing upstream, because you are going against your own nature. If you choose truth, you live in the timeline of love, because love begins the moment you accept yourself fully. When your heart, your actions, and your life becomes one. Your energy starts to overflow, because you're not wasting it. Because you're not wasting it in this inner conflict. You stop chasing and start attracting, and you stop forcing and start aligning. Without planning and without forcing, the right person shows up at the right time, and a conversation becomes a doorway. An opportunity appears that you couldn't have planned but somehow fits perfectly. Synchronicities arise because you have stopped fighting your own nature. I personally haven't experienced this, but I gotta say, I'm in the process of it. After so many years of conditioning and seeking validation from others, now I don't seek for approval. I have started listening to my heart and do things that matters to me the most. Even though if I feel left out, it's okay. Because I've stopped comparing my path to others, and I'm trusting the divine timing. And when you feel left out or insecure about your life, keep asking yourself the same question. Am I choosing love or fear? Thank you for watching.